Yo, what's going on, boys? Welcome to another interview. We have with us today Mr. Liam, Mr. Manley Reviews. What's going on, dude? How you doing, Liam?
What's going on, man? Oh, sorry, your thing just went live for me.
Oh,
I'm getting
shoot.
an advertisement now. Okay, I'm
Do I
doing
just turn
well.
those
Thank
off,
you.
man? What the fuck?
Sorry, I wanted to see how you were doing on there. I want to see the engagement in the chat, but I got an ad.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about that.
Anyways,
Ignore that shit.
Yeah,
ignore
sorry
that
about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
thanks
good.
for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
the
thanks,
only
man.
reason I'm here is because, you know, like while I was OCD checking YouTube analytics, I saw like some guy use like 90% of my video.
Ah!
I'm like, what's this? And I saw you. It was like a reaction thing, and I love watching reaction videos. I only have like 5 or 6 of them to my content, but it's so fun seeing how someone interprets a video after I've spent like an autistic amount of time editing it.
Oh, yeah.
Because like half the time I want to like throw out half the jokes. I'm like, this isn't funny. No one's gonna like this. And then
Yeah.
I'll watch a react, and then someone will laugh at the shit I thought was retarded, and then they'll be deadpan for something I thought that was like the funniest thing.
No,
Like,
dude,
it's like people. I'll be like, what the fuck? I spent like a day
I'm
putting
sorry,
that together,
man. I'm
and
sorry.
then.
This is why I told you I'm
it's fine.
stopping reaction
It was really
content.
interesting. The first thing I saw from you was like your eyebrows were just going all over the place.
Hey, man, listen. You want me to talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so I mean,
It wasn't a bad thing. You reminded me of Asmongold a little bit.
yeah, well, so, okay.
In a good way. In a good way.
I can tell you what happened, Liam. Thank you for bringing it up, man. Basically, what happened was I noticed because I'm always trying to improve. I mean, you're probably the same way. So I always look back at my VOD and I'm looking at my face and I'm just like, holy fuck, I have the most dead face out of any Twitch streamer I've possibly seen. So I was like, what's one way I could potentially increase the amount of facial expression? And I was like, oh, Asmongold's one of the has some of the most facial expressions, and I'll start to implement
so funny.
it. But then
You're actually so you're doing that on purpose.
no,
Like,
not
that's-
anymore.
that's-
Not anymore. That's
So
that's
now
what
it's
happened.
habit?
For the first 1 to 2 months, yes, it was about like it was forcing it almost. But then after 1 to 2 months, it's become so natural that it's kind of a tick almost. And I've developed even worse ticks than that, to be honest. But we don't have to talk about that.
It's not a bad one. I think that's so funny you say that, because I know we'll get into this, but when I was drumming back in my old career, because before I had like any experience doing anything, I was always like the guy that was like the studio, like everything has to be pristine and like well done.
Yeah.
And I thought like, man, I'm such a good drummer. I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm doing these like 5/13 polyrhythms, and then I started recording myself to be like, I'll make some YouTube videos, and I broke down. Like I wanted to I couldn't handle the footage because I
really?
looked so stupid back, because I would watch it and I'd just be like, I thought I was rocking out in my head, like looking entertaining and enjoying myself, and I looked like I wanted to jump off a bridge. And I was like, this is the hardest thing, because learning how to look engaged in something that you're doing is way harder than you think. Because some people are naturally like very like they make, you know, gestures and facial movements.
Yeah,
and
they're
like I'm not that guy. I'm always the dude just sitting here looking like I'm bored. Like I'd go to concerts, and then there was one time like a concert, like a band I really looked up to, like right front center, and the guy went up to me and did this. Because I wasn't smiling. I looked so like disappointed.
What?
And he was like, dude, smile. And I was like, oh fuck, I just pissed this guy off because I look like, because I'm sitting here like,
Nah, that guy's a
Patrick and
weirdo,
SpongeBob
dude. That dude's
analyzing.
weird as fuck.
No, I get it. No, I totally get it, because to him, I'm there like pissed at him. And it was funny. It cracked me
Well, how
up.
many
'Cause I'm
people
like,
were
oh my
there?
God. He said what?
How many people were at that concert?
Oh, like 300, 400. But like if you're at the very front, that's all they see.
Oh, yeah.
So like if you're at the front and like, you know, you feed off the energy a bit. If there's a guy front and center that's like, yo, can you like stop playing? I get it. So I realized like, oh my God, like this is, so I totally understand it. So that's why when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, this guy's like trying. He's giving like, because I'm watching you the whole time. Like, is this guy laughing? Does he think this is funny? Is he like disagreeing? Is he agreeing? Anyways, so I enjoy your stuff. So I was watching it just like you had me captivated. And I was like, this guy reminds me of Asmongold.
I've tried to tone back the reaction content because, well, first of all, I've started to edit my own videos, and generally, I mean, as you know, you spend so much fucking time on those videos, and it is a very valid criticism of reaction content creators that, like, yeah, it kind of is just stealing content to some degree. It matters a lot more when people are a lot larger, obviously. You know, when like somebody's a huge content reactor or whatever, then yeah, it gets a little fucked up. But at the same time, it kind of is along those, you know, similar pathways. And I think that it's a little bit of a, don't know. It just steals content, to be honest. So I feel dirty doing it.
It's lazy. It's not like lazy in terms of I don't think it's good. I wish I could do it. I think it's fun. I mean, Sunny V2 basically just has a YouTube channel for other YouTube channels to like react to, and like, he still gets plenty of views. So as long as like you're not siphoning away for like a tiny channel.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the more important takeaway is for you as a creator, because like I guess I'll just go into it because I was watching your channel and you told me that you were an Overwatch caster and you're like a pro player, which I thought was the most fascinating thing. I wanted to ask you about that. Say what?
Well, you're making this interview about me now, Liam. Okay, man. All right.
Well, I'm curious because I'm not from that scene, so I'm
go for it, man.
Because I get like so in the weeds. I just have like hundreds of pages on like other YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Where I like write down like what they're doing right, and I looked at yours and I'm like, I didn't know what your goal was. I looked at your content. I'm like what? So like for you, what are you trying to do with your channel?
At this point, I would say...
Are you trying to do Twitch or YouTube? Sorry to interrupt, but...
Oh, no, you're good, man. I mean, I think it's just Discord, honestly, makes it seem that way, like I'm like talking... It's not like talking over it. I think it's just how it works. I don't know, man. I mean, that's a good question, actually. I think that it just changes for me constantly. I think that's the downside with how I create content is that, once... I'm kind of detoured after like 6 months of making one style of content. Like you were...
Oh, sure.
Like your editing style videos.
Real quickly.
Yeah, the editing style videos, after... pretty much just doing an edited style format for, I don't know, maybe only like 3 months or something like that. But like I made so many videos and I thought they were good, but in hindsight, you look back at them and you're like, it's probably not that good. But at the same time, I'm like, that's
every creator, man. That's every creator. Like every creator, like every video you make 2 weeks ago is like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, exactly.
You just want to burn it. Yeah, no, I get it.
But it's like, I don't know. At the same time, I was like, okay, let's just do reaction content and see where that goes. And then I just spammed reaction content for the past like fucking 4 months. And in hindsight, I think more like just commentary videos on shit that's happening. Like recently, there was a girl that was fucking on Twitch.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I just saw that on Twitter when I was trying to find the link. I'm like, I saw this chick like wearing like tape on her nipples. And then
that one also happened.
And there was also a chick that was like in the reflection of the mirror.
That
was hilarious. Like. And she got like a slap on the wrist or something?
Yeah,
like,
7 days. 7 days, man.
7 days.
Well, YouTube, at the same time, I think there's, what is the YouTube business channel? Oh, yeah. Do you see that?
No, I was going to say, like, at least they weren't spamming L's in chat. Like,
that'll
get you taken off permanently.
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, no L's, okay? Absolutely. Only W's only.
So messed up.
Dude, what is it called? The YouTube business guy. There's like YouTube business, I think, or Business Insiders. I think he was suing YouTube, I think, recently, and that video was blacklisted, I think, at the same time.
The video that was like don't be evil, with like the crossed out thing. It says like be evil. Yeah,
that video,
I think. My thumbnail notes.
Are you just going around? Okay, this is a good question, actually. Are you just going around channel? You already mentioned this before, but like, are you just going channel to channel to individually analyze and find what they're doing right to take to your own?
It kind of sounds. It sounds like that. I don't really. Like you said, like I'm terminally on YouTube. Like I turn on my computer and I just like open like YouTube and I just start like middle clicking like anything that interests me.
Yeah.
And then I just go like, okay, why did I click on that? Like, was it like a review of like a mouse or something, or was it like, that's a really interesting topic, or maybe like they had a really cool title that engaged me, and if it's something that I feel like I can glean off of, I'll just like go to the channel and see what they're doing, because like it's all just there's so much tech in YouTube. It's surprisingly easy. At the same time, you just have to be honest with yourself and be like, okay, like this is why this video is popping off, this is why this one isn't, and then after doing this for like a year or two, it's just like automatic. Like whenever I get into something, I really get into it. I don't know if you have the same thing, but it's like I roofed a house once, like the worst job ever.
Oh, wait, where do you live? Like what state?
I live in the West Coast. West Coast? So I live in the West Coast, but like I had a roof a house, and the only thing I could think of for the next week was like the chalk lines on other houses. Like you just see every other roof and you're like, oh yeah, they fucked up that one. Like, their whole like top tiling is like way up. But it's the same thing with YouTube. It's like if I'm like really interested in it, I'm just curious. Like I just want to know if there's something I can take for myself or learn. It's like vocabulary. It's like the more words you know, the more you can speak. Yeah, it's kind of like that. So I'll just take notes on like whatever I see, and like every once in a while I'd be like, oh yeah, that one channel had a really cool thumbnail. Like maybe I can do something like that. So yeah, it's just a constant like I don't know everything. I'm an idiot. Like, but maybe someone else who's figured it out before me, maybe you can learn a thing or two from them. You know,
Okay,
that's sort of.
Do you get this at all, Liam? Like people coming out and being like, you know, your thumbnails need more boobs. Do they just like?
Actually, no, I haven't had that. That's a thought I think. On my Cyberpunk video, I literally just like threw in a picture of a chick and just like, I spent like, I think 2 hours just like highlighting her tits and just like enlarging them like on the right. I'm like, if my face ain't gonna get clicks, because who cares? These tits will. Like that shit, but it works. Like you see big ass cleavage on YouTube, like your eyes just go to it.
Yeah,
like, you just go to it. Like
it's like
just,
seeing red.
There's things like that. It's like you always see, you always go to eyes in faces. Like there's little things like that I'm always like, huh. But I usually don't get people who like be like, oh, dude, you gotta do this or that, because I think my thumbnails are pretty good.
Yeah.
So you know, some of them, like my older ones, suck. But anyways, all that to say, like, yeah, I am constantly just like taking notes. The big thing is I have some other YouTuber friends. Some of who inspired me to like kind of do this like seriously, who are also the same way. Like they're also like, oh yeah, like. And to them, they don't even have to try. They're just like, oh, yep, that's a dumb title. Too long here. This thumbnail, like, rearrange that, do this, do that. And I'm just like, how did you do that? Like, I don't even.
They are the algorithm.
So all this, yeah. Well, they just know because they've done it, and it's like, well, I want to do that. So so I'm just sort of like a sponge for all that. I'm like, well, okay, like, how do I get to the point where I can just sort of know like if a video is going to do well or not? And I feel like I'm kind of getting there.
Yeah.
But like anybody can do it. Like it's not that hard to do. You just have to kind of do it.
It's a learning experience.
And I really enjoy it. Like it's a hobby now. Like YouTube is just a hobby, and it always kind of has been. Like filming stupid. Yeah,
is that how you got into it? I mean, like you said that you were a drummer, or you talked about it, you were drumming before you went into YouTube. And then before that, or was it around the same time that you were doing houses as well? So you were doing like side gig after side gig?
No, that was just like a one-off thing. I was a painter. That was like my job for a while.
Yeah.
So the timeline looks like this. So when I was like young, I was like 8 or 9, you know, growing up like early 2000s. I just thought drums were cool, and like I had to take piano lessons, and I hated it. I mean, looking back, I'm glad I learned it, but drumming was just like a fun, like rebel, make loud noises. Like who doesn't want to do that? You see a band on a show, and like you look at the drum set, and it's all big and cool. And then I did a talent show in like 4th grade. Like I sucked at drums, but I got to bring my drum set to school, and I had like I went to a really small school.
Yeah.
And everyone just thought I was like the coolest dude. After that, like I played probably just the most obnoxious shit, but everyone's like, dude, that's the rock star guy. And I'm like, okay, I know what I want to do now. Because everyone thought I'm cool when I did this. So that was like all I did. So
yeah.
I like min-maxed drumming basically. That was like my thing. Like 13 years of my life, I'm like, I'm going to be a drummer. I'm going to make this work. And the weird thing is, through all of that, I was filming skits with my friends because we always like to do like stupid video stuff. But, when I graduated high school, like doing like, you know, skimming college, I took all the money I'd saved up, which was like $2,000, and I just put it all into like crappy YouTube gear. And I was like, I'm gonna make a drumming channel as like a resume. Because at the time I was recording drums for other bands. Like that was like how I was kind of making some money. And I was like, okay, I need to like be able to like go to a client and say, you like jazz? All right, here's a jazz performance. Here's a solo. Here's this. I did that, and then some of the videos like took off with like 10,000 views. But that channel is what got me like my full-time touring gig with that band Uncured. And I wasn't really super into the music like at all, but they had their shit together. The good guys. They worked really hard, and they had tons of connections, and they were just gunning for the same goals I had. So they auditioned me, we fit great, and that sort of led into like the professional, like this was a big break for me. It was YouTube. Like YouTube was the thing that allowed me to like just like do drumming full time. And then like 4 years later, after like traveling all over, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I sound like I'm sucking my own dick here, but it's like, no, I got to do some really cool stuff that like no one gets to do. And part of me was like, it's weird because like my brother, okay, he's on the opposite spectrum. Like he went like full law school. He's like a huge lawyer in New York. Like he's doing really well. Okay. And he worked his ass off for it. And I'm on like the other side of the spectrum, which is like art bullshit. So I'm over here like touring and all this stuff. And I was just sort of like, I was getting a little tired of it. Because like you do, like it was like my dream job to tour. And like after you do it for a few years, like the ego of like, yeah, I get to do like all these cool shows, it wears off real quick. And then, then before you know it, you're just sleeping in a van, eating poorly. You just like your time, like you just have to, you're constantly just like running around doing stuff. And it taught me a lot of great experiences, and I got to like just see all these amazing places and meet tons of people. I started getting a little tired of it, and I wasn't seeing the growth I wanted to in the band by this point. And like, I'm 27 now. So it's like, by the time I was like 24, I was like, okay.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I'm getting a little tired of this. But at the same time, I met a good friend of mine, Manley Reviews, who is like a big anime tuber. No, he's not gay. I know, like you hear anime tuber, it's like, fuck that. He's actually a really cool dude. I just found his channel, and I ended up in his Discord, and we ended up just like connecting, and we're like best friends now. He was the guy, and during this time, this is right when COVID hit, like 2020. We had a bunch of tours canceled. So he was all interested in the band stuff, and like, you know, we had this relationship of like, we're both like creators, and we were like on different spectrums of the creative side, and we were just like comparing notes. We both thought each other's jobs were interesting, and eventually, like, I would edit some memes and stuff. Like, I wasn't a great editor or anything, but I'd be like, I'd make something funny and send it to him, and he's like, dude, like, why aren't you doing YouTube? And I was like, I'm not gonna do YouTube. Like it's impossible. You can't just like do like it's all luck. Like every channel that's a channel now, it's like it's established and no one's new. And he basically just called me a fucking retard and said like, you're a moron. Like anybody can do it. You just have to be consistent and learn and take it like a business. Because he built his channel in like 4 years, and he's doing great. And I was like, what? No, you're on crack. So. A couple months later, you know, I had some savings, and he's like, dude, do YouTube. And I finally was like, you know what? I've got nothing to do. We were gonna open for Slipknot. That was like the biggest thing we were gonna do. We were gonna open for Slipknot in Malaysia at Hammer Sonic Fest. We had like all these crazy tours, like Asia. We had just come back from Brazil, like crazy year, 2020. And then after like half of it, it all got canceled. Like it all got canceled. Everything we had for 2 years just got shut down. And like, you know, it'll happen later, but there are so many other bigger bands that are like waiting on the guest list to go back on the road. So at this point, I'm like, well, I've got nothing to do, and I need something to do. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy. So I just started going, researching everything I could about like cameras, you know, lighting and gear, and making a bunch of dumb purchases and end up returning half of it. You know, you never know what you need and what you don't. And just started making videos, and it just like, it brought me right back to when I was just like, happy as fuck, like filming skits, and I'm like, this is so much fun. I made like the first video I ever really made on the channel in like 8 years was like a microphone tutorial, and I fucked it up too. Like I had like the wrong EQ, like it sounded terrible, but it blew up. I got like 100,000 views on like a dead channel.
What the fuck?
And I remember just being like, oh my god, like this is this terrible video.
That's how you knew that you could do it, because anybody could do it.
That's the thing. I was like, because at this point he's like giving me all these tips and tricks, and I'm just sort of like, okay, like you tell me to do something, I'll do it. And he's like, dude, you got all this like drumming experience, all this yada yada yada. Make a channel about that. I'm like, okay. So I make the microphone tutorial. It blows up, and then I tried to make like a tour. This is where things get kind of weird. I tried to make like a tour stories video, because there's tons of wild, weird stories on the road. I made the video about the Brazilian tour, and I sent it to the guys in the band, because these guys are like super nitpicky about like what is public and what's not. It's sort of a source of contention between us, and they've kind of eased off that, but it was very like sterile to a fault, where like it wasn't very personable, and I had to be very careful what I said on camera, because I knew I'd hear shit from like my manager.
Like a K-pop band, like a boy band or something.
Yeah, and like, of course, I don't want to like leave them with a bad image or anything. You know, they're working their asses off, and the last thing they want is like me fucking it up. So I sent the video to them, and they were like, "Yeah, you gotta get like, we don't really want that part getting out." And I had to like censor a lot of stuff, because like they just didn't want like maybe like some business back end, because there's a lot of things. So I was like, well, shoot, like. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, for them, like, I understand their call, and I respected it. So I was sort of like, well, I can't really do that. But I love talking about video games and complaining about stuff. And I'm always thinking about, like, why I like things or why I don't. So I'm like, well, that's fun. That's what I grew up watching. You know, like the JonTron guys. Of course, you know, Nikki, Jakey, because people love making that comparison. Because you have a green screen.
They always do.
Yeah, it's so fun. I got, every once in a while, I'll get, like, because vidIQ shows you when a video gets posted to Reddit, and every once in a while, like, click to see what people say. And the biggest one was like, he's Kmark Nakey Jakey. I thought that was the funniest thing. I'm like, great, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take Kmark. Okay. So yeah, so basically that's how the channel came to be. And after uploading some like pretty bad videos that were it was like just all editing, because that's the only thing I knew how to like improve on.
Right.
It would take me like I would write a script in like 10 minutes and be like, yeah, there's a script. And then I would just spend like the next like month editing it. And then of course, while I'm filming it, I'm tripping over my sentence every single time I go to say a line.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just sort of started over editing everything. And I really got into like that production of like, yo, dude, that song with like that title and the transition, that was so cool.
And it's way too specific.
And I'm like, yeah, this video looks so, like, everyone's gonna love this. And of course, like, no one gives a shit. Because like, who cares? Who cares if you have like a really cool LUT on your footage with like a swoosh? No one cares.
Yeah.
I cared though, so it was all an ego thing. But anyways, that sort of built the foundation of like, oh, like this is how you edit. And meanwhile, my friends like just be saying like, here, you did this well. You did this fucking terrible. Stop doing this. And I'd be like,
that's fucked up,
right,
dude.
Because he had so many views.
Yeah.
And like I know he's right. And I'm just like, fuck, okay. But eventually I started getting, like, after about a year of doing it, I was like, okay, this makes, I get it now. Like, like I get why the value proposition, why people should watch, and then they started getting views. So the first video that really popped was that like why games aren't fun anymore, which is like an okay video, like it could be updated. But I've always been interested in like psychology and whatnot, because like I at the time was like, dude, I don't enjoy half the things I used to enjoy. What's going on here? And figured there's probably a billion other people making that like same thought process. So I made that video, and it got like 500,000 views. Like it just skyrocketed. And when that skyrocketed, my like gaming chair video, which was like pretty old, and like my gaming foam video, which was a video I made in, it's the gaming foam video I made in like 5 days. Like it was just a buffer video in between the Cyberpunk one, because I was so like, I just need to upload something.
Yeah.
And then I saw Elgato did the same, like I can just make a quickie on this. That blew up to like 300 something thousand views, and all of a sudden my channel went from like 3,000 subscribers back in like, I don't know, September, August, like last year, to like 50. And then a couple more videos, each one takes off like, 60,000, 70,000. At this point, I'm like, and I'm seeing some good money come in. Like, not like amazing, but it's still like, okay, like this is like kind of livable a bit, but like I only care about the future, right? So it's like, what if I do this for the next 4 years, 5 years? Like, what does that look like if I can just keep doing that? Instead of just like, oh, I made some money now. It's like, what if I just don't do sponsors, maximize like view retention, all this stuff, and just go, where could this channel be in the next 5 years if I just keep doing it? Because look at where I came from now. And I was like, okay, I think I just got to keep doing this. So at this point, I made the Metroid Prime video. This is actually a little bit step back. I was in the East Coast. I was living in New Jersey with the guys. That's where the band is. And I had to make that video like after hours. So that whole thing, I would just like film
exhausted for it.
I was like, after a whole day of like doing whatever, like at like 7 p.m., I just take the computer, move it upstairs into the studio, and just like edit and film from like 8 to 4 a.m. and then wake up at like, early the next day.
Yeah.
Early, noon, whatever. But
early.
Yeah, early. YouTuber early. And then I was realizing like, dude, this is killing me, because I can't upload. Like, this is taking me so much time, and I'm also like spending all this other time doing something that's not really advancing. Like, I'm 27, like don't want to be doing this when I'm 30. Like touring and stuff. Like, I gotta like hammer this down. So we get a call, and this is after I've made the the patches video and like the graphics video that all like popped off like within releasing them. I was like, this is working. Like, this is working really well. I get a call, and they're like, hey, we've got this tour for January. We're gonna need you from like we're gonna need you to come out in a week.
Oh shit.
For like January to March, basically, to do this tour and like rehearse. Even though we don't really need to rehearse, we already have everything like dialed in.
Yeah.
They wanted to do all this stuff, and I was like, at this point, my sweat went cold, because I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like we just got a tour. My first reaction shouldn't be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good. Because that's what it was. I remember just being like, oh, I gotta do this, and I'm not gonna be able to make videos on the road. I tried. I even had I invested in like a badass gaming laptop to make videos on the road. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I tried my hardest, and I was like, this is like, do I quit the band to do this?
Yeah.
And that was really tough. I made that decision in like 2 days. I knew it was this, but I was like, fuck, like, do I forego this? And I finally made the call. It was a tough call to make, and I was like, hey guys, like, you're not gonna like this, but I can't do it. Like, I'm making more money at this than I was touring, and like now I'm not gonna be able to capitalize because like you only get one shot at YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
Like you, like
Well,
I
you,
got,
you don't
I
think you could do it
I'm very
again
fortunate.
if you like had to restart?
I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean that. What I meant to say was, not everyone gets a shot at YouTube. I think.
Yeah.
And also the same thing goes for the music industry. Like I was in a band that was very financially stable. Like this is a band that could keep doing this forever. And I could, kind of eke off of that. And I was like, shoot, I don't really want to do this much. But at the same time, like this is something I've always wanted, is to like have a big YouTube channel where I just get to like make and create and like not split revenue and just make my own creative decisions and like have fun and like make other people laugh. Like nothing brings a bigger smile to my face when I just edit some stupid meme and like send it to a couple Discord friends. I'm like, dude, check this out. And they're like, you can't upload that. I'm like, I know I can't, but wouldn't it be funny? Just like, I love that stuff. Yeah, well, yeah, I might actually upload some backlog stuff. But the whole thing was just like, man, I think I just gotta do this. So I made the call to them. They were pretty understanding. They were cool about it. I said, just like, keep all my stuff there. I don't care. Guys have fun. Yeah, they had another drummer on backup that I knew was good.
There you go.
That I recommended. So it worked out for them. Kind of. Whatever. That's a different story. But
okay.
Basically, I'm doing YouTube now, and like that's now like the goal, which is weird because it goes from being like a hobby to like a job in a good way, and also like a very weird way where like now the numbers don't mean anything. Like hitting like 80,000 subscribers was like huge, but at the same time I'm like, oh yeah, but I got to be at least at like 200,000 subscribers by like this year or that. So it's pretty funny to see just how doable YouTube is, and like it's no longer this mystical like, man, wouldn't it be wild to have 100,000 subscribers? So now it's like, oh yeah, no, I could take any YouTube channel and be like, oh, here's how you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like take that skill, take this, merge it with these types of videos. Like that's how you do it. So
Do you think
now
you
that
start,
I know
like,
that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. I'm just rambling. I told you I had too much caffeine.
No,
so
you're
I'm
good,
just,
man.
like,
I like it.
Going off.
Well, I mean, like, do you think you could like recommend like even like to smaller channels like oh my god, we could just do this, and you're boom. Like
absolutely.
Do you know that there's people that do that,
boom,
right? Like, well,
I wouldn't say boom, but like you could absolutely. Like there is paths to growth. Now it may not be some of the content you want to make. I think that's the hardest part, is being like, okay, like,
or are you
I
making content
you're trying to do
want to make?
Yeah, well, I am, because I'm trying to bridge the gap between what's going to work and what I want to make, and I feel like I'm really on that like 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Which when I hit that is the video I want to make. Like I want videos that do really well that I also enjoy making, and I'm doing that. So I haven't had to like sell out to like mentally yet, because I think just doing funny game reviews that are also like pitching a point of interest, or like an angle. Like I always have an angle on a video of like, here's why you should care. Like here's something you already know about, but you haven't thought of it like this, or just an observation, something relatable, whatever. I love doing that.
Right.
But the videos have to perform for me to like keep doing it, knowing that like this is a full-time job. So that's sort of the stress part, is like, it's so easy. And this is what I'm working on right now, because I know one of the questions you sent me was like, how long do you spend making your videos?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, too much. And it's getting smaller and smaller. So like this last video took like 8 days to edit. And that's a video that would normally take me like a month. So the way I'm doing like all my presets, and I'm very quick when I can edit, but now it's like, okay, taking away that creative process of like, I've got me talking on the screen, but like, what's the background gonna be? What's, like it's gotta have like the chromatic aberrations and the this and the music and the that, and it's like, all those creative decisions are like something I'm constantly mulling over in my head, as opposed to being like, Animal Crossing music, that goes for there.
Yeah,
done. Like, don't even think about it. And normally I'll sit there and be like, I'll just replay it over and over and be like, you know what? No, this needs Donkey Kong music. This needs the Donkey Kong. And I'll play that like, no, this needs Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's what's gonna work. And like that just wastes days and days, and before you know it, I'm like 20 uploads behind what I could have been. Yeah. And I'm leaving all this on the table. So like, what used to be everything was about the edits and the quality I've realized like that does not matter, and it's all about entertaining the viewer, providing value, comedy, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And then like the editing is just a means to an end. Like I don't want to be known as like, I don't think anyone really wants to be known as an editor. Like who cares? Like, oh dude, like I'm an editor. Like no one gives a fuck. Like, but as like being an entertainer, like that guy's funny, that guy's interesting. Like you don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, like, yeah, he reacts to the weirdest shit.
Oh yeah,
you want to be a good reactor. Like you want to be like the person who's skilled at why people are watching, as opposed to just like the dude who like puts transitions together. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to
so
me.
that's what I'm trying to work toward, is like get faster at the videos, just make them fun to watch.
Well,
editing isn't have to be like the main goal, and then everything else is like speed from there on out. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
That may
It
not
does.
make sense.
Well, Liam, yeah, it makes sense. But like with the Stray video specifically, because I just watched it before I watched part of it last night, and then also part of it before I had you on. And well, okay, I don't even think I even said your title that well, to be honest with you. Yeah, if you don't know, Liam Manley is one of my favorite YouTubers currently, the homie on right now. Basically, this guy just decides to poke fun at games or anything, so it's kind of social commentary, isn't it? Like you do a lot of different shit, and I noticed I'm trying to like come back to the point with Stray, because to me it seemed like you didn't like the game, Lit. To me it seemed you liked the game, dude. I watched it back and I'm like,
you know what's funny?
I hated it.
I played that game. I had a raging toothache. So my brother was visiting from out of town. He was here for 5 days, and I like, this is right after I uploaded the Gaming Inhaler video. So I just wanted to like make another video real quick. And then he visited, so like that took away from it. And then the day he left, I got like one of the worst. I had like a filling on a tooth that like shouldn't have had a filling, and it just like, I was like in tears, just like I couldn't sleep. And my dentist like did me a solid, got me into the morning after, gave me a root canal, but like it just hurt for like a week. And I had to play this game. Yeah, I had a root canal, but like there was a problem with it because it was so inflamed, and I was just like miserable for a week. And I played Stray, and I remember just being like, I gotta play this game. I gotta play this game. Like, I'm not having fun. And now I was still pretty neutral. I think I was pretty fair to it. Like, I liked what the game was. Yeah. And when I played it, I was like, this game could have been so good. Like this, like, I don't think people understand like how good this game could have been, but instead, they made some choices that just like ceilinged it, you know. Whereas I saw this could be like a PS2 classic era, like just straight up action adventure with a great plot, really interesting story, and they did so many things that were like, this is not the right move. And at the same time, I saw a bunch of YouTubers reviewing it, because I'm like, am I the only one here? And then everyone was like, yo, this game is like crazy, you can like do the cat thing. So I'm like, okay, like cool, but like you still have 5 hours of gameplay to play.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is a video. Like, and part of me was like, okay, this is a new game. Like, it might get some views, but I was so late on the video that like, I don't know if it'll perform well.
Well, I mean, like with Stray's, I think it's probably perfect timing, because like at the same time, if you probably posted that video within the first couple weeks, you know, maybe you would have just been seen as like a hater or something. I don't know, because everybody was
I don't think so. I mean, I worry about that. I try to, I end up taking so much stuff out of the videos that sometimes my points can seem almost like too strong, when in reality it's more just like, hey, like I thought this could have been better. Yeah. Instead of, because it's like I'm audience retention. I'm trying to make it intense. I'm trying to make it like the takeaways, the theses, and sometimes I don't always communicate that well. I'm working on that, but the part was like, okay, I played the game. There's some good, there's some bad, and it's not very fun because of the bad. And it could have been better, but the whole thing was like, I don't think anyone truly sees me as a hater, because I try to be fair. I always try to be. It's like, hey, like I did the Cyberpunk video. That was the first big video I made that was like shitting on something, like really shitting on it. And I remember just like, a lot of people were pissed. Like a small minority were pissed that like, hey, like you're just shitting, and like maybe like you didn't get this story plot or here like right because you didn't read the books or play the fucking board game. Like I'm gonna do that, but I'm just coming at the perspective of all these videos as just some guy who's trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
Like that's the goal. It's like I'm just trying to be relatable and be like, hey, I'm not some guy who's gonna critique like the ins and outs and like symbolism of a game. Like I'm not doing that. I'm just like, hey, I wanted to enjoy this game. I didn't really enjoy this game. And I know a bunch of average Joes out there who just want to like throw in a disc and like have fun for 40 hours. I'm probably gonna empathize with this a bit more than like the dudes arguing on Reddit for 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, those guys.
Like, so that's like the perspective I take with all my videos. It's like I try to be relatable and I try to be just like genuine. Of like, hey, like I played this game, looks super sick. Like they could have made some cool shit, but man, did they fuck this up? Like this could have been so much more. And like Like, yeah, I might ruffle some feathers, but I don't think anyone's going to be like, that he's just being mean to like drum up controversy. It's like, no, it's like I did that with the Twitter versus Elden Ring video. Like I fucking love Dark Souls. Like my favorite franchise. I could just dump so many hours in that game, and it could have been easy for me to be like, Elden Ring is just like perfect, no flaws. It's like, it's not perfect. Like no game's perfect. Like there's some things that are like.
Well, but like with Elden Ring, I guess.
And I did that with the video.
Yeah.
Like the whole point was like a lot of people were like extremes on both sides. I'm like, okay, guys, like it's not like flawless. Like they could have done this better. It's still a great ass 10 out of 10 game in my book. But like like maybe we don't need to die on these hills. Yeah. And then people on the other edge of that spectrum are like doing the same thing. So I try to be like in the middle while also being like, here's what they could have done more, because that's more interesting than like, here's what the game did right. That can be interesting, but it's more like, hey, this thing fucked up. That's more fun to laugh at, and I can make jokes on that, and also offer some form of commentary. I think.
I mean, you're right, because then you're just jerking off on the same point like that everybody else is making, and then it's just like we're not doing anything novel at that point. Then.
Yeah, it's a balance. Like the goal of every video is just to be fun. Is to be like entertaining and to leave you with like a bit of a new perspective on something while also putting a smile on your face. Just like that's what I want. Like I don't want anyone to be like walking away all serious and I don't even know. I just want people to like enjoy the video and be like, oh yeah, that was fun to watch. I want to watch more of that, because that's what I grew up watching, and I don't know if you're the same way.
Yeah, I grew up watching.
Like you watch your favorite YouTuber and it's just like, oh, that was fun, that was interesting, and I want to watch more and go. I don't know, like. Watch like I can't tell you how many times I'd watch like Internet Historian. Like I love that dude's videos. He's like the funniest guy. I feel like he's one of like the most best YouTubers in forms of like the type of content that he makes, where he just like picks topics and then just like explains them and makes really funny jokes on them. And like I can just boot up a game of Nazi zombies and just like have that in the background while I listen to it, just like killing an hour. Like that's kind of what I want to do.
It's a good time.
It's just like have a good time and also like maybe learn a thing or two.
Yeah.
As opposed to like die on a hill.
Just arguing.
As fun as that can be time to time. Like for example, like we're all PC gamers here. Like I love PC gaming. I love it.
That was a good point actually. I was going to talk to you about that. I mean, like,
yeah, sure. I'm talking too much. I'll let you go.
No, you're good. Well, I mean, I have multiple things, by the way, so I kind of, because I had a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
for
no,
you.
I'm just.
I'm
keep
you're
talking
good, man.
until you tell me to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Liam. Stop being a fucking cuck. No, I'm just kidding.
That's
dude.
what all my friends say. It's like, oh great, here he goes again.
Well, because you were bringing up console. No, this was on what you were saying on console versus PC. Like, what do you think about that whole debate? Like, in the fact that there's so many. Do you think there's still really like an actual? I don't know. Is there actually any like people that are legitimately arguing for the side of console gaming versus PC gaming? And is this like still like a war that is happening, or do you think this is something that's like 2008 humor, which is just PC versus console?
Like, the first thing I would say is like get a fucking hobby. Like if it's something you're like upset about, like go do something else. Like you need something productive in your life as opposed to just like art. It's like the whole like PS4 versus Xbox guys. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like I think the big thing for me was like I grew up on consoles my whole life. I didn't have like a competent computer until I was 19. I grew up on like a pre Mac Mini with 2 gigabytes of RAM, and that's what I did like music on and stuff. So PC gaming was like a new thing to me, and all my friends were like hardcore PC. Like a lot of them were like like super into Counter-Strike, PUBG, all that stuff. And I was like, PC gaming's sick. Like all these cool graphics. This is back in like 2014 when like graphics were still on that cusp of like the consoles kind of have them, but not great. But like PC gaming, like that has some cool graphics. Like your Crysis, like graphics are a novelty, and now they're just like a standard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like I don't think of like it's rare that you play a game like, man, these graphics suck. Unless it's Counter-Strike, but like,
or Valorant,
they're terrible. Or Valorant. At least Valorant's stylized. At least it's stylized, so it's a little more pleasing on the eyes. But this is coming from a guy with 2,500 hours in Counter-Strike. Like it looks terrible. Like PC gaming is great because of all the freedom it gives you, and the controls are better-ish. At the end of the day, though, you got to put up with a tremendous amount of bullshit to get half this stuff to work. Like I can tell you how many times I've had friends of mine just like like so many times it's like, oh great, like this just won't work.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, it's just not gonna like go full screen. Oh, like this one, like I can't tell you how many times I'll be in call with a friend. It's like cool, like
you just can't play a game.
they build a new PC and like this one thing just won't work. It's like a defective thing. I'm like, yeah, like it's not convenient, and I think that really saps a lot of joy from it because like again, I know I've said this in the video, but it's like you get a PS5 or a Switch or whatever. Switch if you're a girl or something. I'm just kidding. I love the Switch. That's the fucking joke. But
no, how dare you?
So like the ability to just like pick something up and just like be into what you're doing is so valuable as you get older, or just like in this day and age where like you just everything's clamoring for your attention. To be able to just be like, all right, I'm done. Like hit a button and then like I'm just right back where I left off, and I don't have to like move any wires. I don't have to like hit the right inputs. Like that is huge.
Yeah.
And when you're gaming at your computer, like it's like it just changes the games you enjoy. And if you're into that, awesome. Like you do you. But everyone's got different needs, and I think just the more I notice people having trouble unplugging from whatever jobs they're doing, you know, wherever you're making money, if you have, as you get older, you get more responsibilities and life gets a little harder, and it's like it's harder to unplug and just like allow yourself to do so. I think consoles are like perfect for that right now, like especially with the graphics. Like everything's running on 60 frames. Like you don't need to be playing Spider-Man at 120. Like you don't.
Yeah.
Like you can still
it's
just
nicer,
enjoy stuff.
but
You also don't have the option. You also don't have like that fear of missing out. Where in graphics, it's like, oh man, I'm playing on medium settings. Maybe I could get very high settings, but like I might get like a few frame drop. Like you're constantly like optimizing, and like you don't want to be missing out. Like I paid all this money for this game and computer.
You spend like 10 minutes on
the
the settings menu before you actually play the game.
And then you start like questioning, like, am I really noticing like the pop-in distance here? Whereas on console, it's like, I don't got a choice. It's fine. Like I remember never playing Black Ops 2 complaining about like the frame drops because I'm split screening with my friend. Like you just deal with it. Black Ops 1 looks terrible, but you just deal with it. Like you don't have to worry about it. Whereas PC gaming is the opposite. It's like you're constantly like monitoring and doing all this stuff. Like I've got this like stupid wide monitor here where it's like it's 227 inches like put into one. It's like it was a birthday gift from my Christmas gift from my brother. It was a really generous thing, and it's great for editing. But goddamn, it's horrible for gaming. Like it's 240 hertz. It's like the best resolution. Man, getting anything to go full screen or like center, it's such a nightmare with like half the shit.
Are you gonna get another monitor?
Like, I can't tell you how many times I'll go to play a game, I just won't. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to deal with it. Like I don't want to play. I don't have to like get Dark Souls to work on this. I gotta change the resolution on the monitor itself. Like I'll just go like check YouTube analytics again and. Yeah, so I don't know. That's sort of like my whole stance on PC gaming versus console gaming. It's like whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
If you enjoy arguing about it, like cool. I just figured you don't really. That's not. And I made that video because I feel like no one says that. Like no one. I haven't seen a video where someone's like, yeah, PC gaming's great, but here's all the trade-offs here that. Like you don't see that, and like that's a video I would watch. At the end of the day, I try to only make videos that I personally would click on. Because I feel like that's how you know a video is going to do well on YouTube. It's like, if this is a video that I can pitch, that's like, that's what I would watch.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there's a bunch of people who would like also do that. Like John tried to make a video on like crazy gaming, like 100 Thieves, all that stuff, gaming compounds. And I'm like, I was kind of pissed because I'm like, that's a video I wanted to make. Like, I didn't even think about it until I saw his. I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. Like, and I watched the whole thing like twice. I thought it was the funniest thing. I'm like, that's such a good idea, and like that's what I'm trying to capture in a video. But as far as like PC gaming versus console, like I don't know.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? I think
if you got like a couple grand to like tinker around, like I love building. I like it's like adult Legos. I think it's fun. I like tweaking with computers. I've got a friend of mine who hates it. Just absolutely hates it. And it's like I get it. Like everything he's saying to me and complaining about, I'm like. I got nothing. Like
he's right, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Well, that's bullshit.
Yeah, Liam. Well, okay. Well, speaking about videos that you've made, in one of honestly the video that brought me to your channel, which was the get good gaming inhalers, right? So is your nose okay? Has it recovered since taking on?
It actually got longer somehow. Just kidding. I know. I got this fucking like giant thing. That whole video was like. Accurate, like it wasn't embellished. Like I literally was just on Amazon one day and just saw the gaming inhaler, and my first thought was like video, like that's a video. I just bought it right there. Like it's $20, I can return it. I never ended up returning it, but
because they went up your nose, dude.
It was
like
too
what
ridiculous.
the fuck?
I'm like, I can't believe it. I can't tell you how many people in like Discord and stuff, I'd be like, hey, I just bought a gaming inhaler, or I'd be like, I need to hit, and they would be like, a what?
Yeah.
Like, it was just a universal, like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, okay, this video has to work. It's like a dildo for your nose. It's so weird because you have to shove the thing in there.
Well, look,
I
here,
thought
Liam,
I was joking.
Look at this. I have some.
Oh my god!
I bought them, dude.
Oh my god!
I bought
Did you get
them.
the variety pack?
Yeah,
Did you get the variety pack?
I don't know. Wombo combo variety is what it says. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Amazing. The Wombo combo variety. So since you're the gaming inhaler instructor,
start off with the banana royale.
okay, why? Wait, what's with the fucking banana royale one? Why is that better than the other ones?
I'm just curious to see what your reaction was.
What do you mean? Is it that bad?
I don't
Bro.
know if it was me, because I like, you know the smell like when you're in a car and like someone's left like an old banana peel in there.
Yeah.
Like that to me is just like car sickness. Like that. Like I don't know if that's just me or if other people are gonna react to that.
I'm trying to
I
get
couldn't
Mike
stand
into
it.
focus. Yeah, no, it probably is, honestly. So you thought that the smell smelled like the inside of a car that was like old with bananas rotting in it, or what?
Yeah, it's just like an old, like it's like someone left a trash bag out. The problem was the banana wasn't too bad on its own, but I had the tropical punch one. You'll notice they're hard to open.
Yeah. Okay.
They're hard to open. Okay, unless you do it perfect.
Wait, what do you? There was like some plastic on it.
I had to bite mine off, and then I just cracked the whole thing, and like the smell just. I had to like stop. I had to like open the window, and I was just like. I got over it pretty quick, but it was just like it was gross. So yeah, so to use
it like ammonia? Or is it okay? So what do I do?
No, it's just minty. It's just minty.
All right. Just stick it up my
so
nose.
you have to like put it in there.
Oh God! What the fuck?
Yeah, it's
is
strong,
that?
right? Like,
Yo, the
I don't
mint.
understand. I just don't understand how anybody thinks that like this will somehow not totally fucking distract you.
The part that you said in the video that was interesting. You said that mint makes your breathing worse, so it doesn't even help you.
Okay. So to be more specific on that, menthol is it sort of has that cooling feeling, and a lot of people think it's going to help you like decongest your nose. So like maybe their claim is like maybe like that study could show that it improves breathing, and maybe breathing improves cognition.
Yeah,
it's a stretch. But menthol doesn't actually improve it. Menthol, it makes it feel like you're getting more of like I'm clearing my nostrils, but you're not.
Yeah.
And like for me, like I have like really bad allergies to everything. So
yeah, same.
Like to me, it just made me sneeze a shit ton.
Okay.
So like it's an irritant, right? So that could potentially like inflame your nostrils. So I don't get how anybody could take that and think it's gonna like improve your focus. It was the most distracting thing. It's I like you drink like an energy drink and like that's pretty non-invasive. Like I take a sip of something and you're done. This is like it'll stay there and you're just like, oh. Well, like my eyes are watering. Like, granted, I took a pretty strong. I'm not just gonna take a little dinky hit. Like, I wanted to get the good reaction on camera.
The next product that's gonna come out is probably the actual fucking plug that goes up your butt. Like that. Actually, you were right. Like that's probably the next product that's coming. Oh,
right.
The subwoofer.
Yeah, the subwoofer. Yeah.
Are you gonna take it? Or are you gonna do it for a video if it comes out? I mean, listen,
I have to think about that. Okay. Probably not. I would probably buy it. I don't think I'd test it.
Okay. Well,
just because I feel like that's kind of gross.
Oh,
like no one wants to hear that.
Wait, I got the wrong one. Sorry. This is Try Hard Topical. Okay. Let me try it real quick so we can move on.
The mint one is the most like tolerable.
Yeah.
Like it's just like mint.
Yeah, I kind of got a hint of that one. Fuck. Okay, you're right. The banana one is kind of harder. What the fuck?
Yeah, like it was. I could not open it. I had to cut out so much OBS because I record all my YouTube videos in OBS.
Yeah.
It's just like I had to cut out so much footage of me just like fucking around with this thing to get it. That's why I ended up using my mouth to crack it.
Dude, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck?
I know. It's
the other one was perfect.
I don't get it.
The other one was actually perfect. There was like lines on the side of it. You know how it's like dots going down that makes it a lot easier to open.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh yeah.
Okay, never mind. I got a bunch of messages all at once from a friend.
He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
I don't think he knows I'm doing this. He just said like, "Bro, I'm dying." Like, for like it's not like some like other server. I don't know.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Obviously, if you have to go for that, then fucking.
No, I don't think he's just joking around.
Okay, good. Jesus Christ. Okay, here we go. I'll try the banana royale so we can move on past this. Let's see. So I just stick it up my nose and that's it.
Remember. Okay, so you have to like insert it, like go deep, and then.
Okay. And sniff?
You don't just waft it.
All right. Oh, fuck you, dude. What the fuck? Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, I'm gaming, dude. Holy that's terrible. That's actually
awful.
ass.
It's awful.
Ooh. Yeah,
It just makes you like want to get it out. Like how that could ever in any reality make you better is just beyond me.
Dude, the mint, honestly, the mint part of it is not. It overwhelms everything.
No, the mint thing's actually not that bad.
If you just like waft it, it's not that bad.
Yeah, no, it's not like that offensive. I think the mixture of like the tropical and banana that set me off.
Yeah, I do kind of want to. I feel like I would puke, dude. Holy shit, that's not good. It like
I
gets
feel like
down.
tropical is not a flavor. Like I don't.
No,
get
no, this was
banana.
Oh yeah, this was
tropical?
banana royale. This was banana royale. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it just seems like such a weird combo. It's like orange juice toothpaste.
Oh fuck that. Yeah,
Like,
that ain't good. Yeah, why would anybody do that?
Try the mint. The mint's fine. The mint.
Oh, you want me to go more? What the fuck?
Yeah, if you go with the mint, well, I mean, you're in for a penny, in for a pound.
All right, fine. Here we go. We got the Try Hard Tropical one. You said?
No, the mint. I think I believe it's a winter mint.
Is it
to
the
be
blue
specific?
one? Winter mint. I see. I can't even read this one. And this is not it. This is Run and Gun. What the fuck? Actually,
I bet the people who made this are just like laughing their asses off at the names. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how you name something Banana Royale and like actually sell it. It's just like you know they're just laughing.
Well, they knew that it'd work. I mean, dude, they're probably making boatloads of money.
It Wombo Combo Variety. They know what they're doing. They know like they're just making.
How much money do you think this company's made? Like they probably scum off so many people.
I have no idea. It can't be that much.
You don't think so? It literally.
They just rebranded Vicks inhalers. So like I think they just. I don't know.
Side hustle.
I don't know. I'd love to know.
You can reach out to them. Try to get an interview with them. See what they're thinking about gaming and fuck, man.
I considered contacting them and just being like, "What the fuck." Like,
just give me your peace of mind after losing your nostrils.
I just feel like what I just want to know is just like are you guys like actually like behind this seriously, or are you just like we know what we're doing?
There's no way they would answer you honestly
both ways. Like I think both answers are kind of valid. It's just like I just want to know.
Yeah,
I respect the hustle.
I mean, there's so many products like that too. You have gaming gum, and like gaming gum is reasonable.
But like that makes sense because I've seen this again when I was on the road. I've been to like every gas station stop you could imagine, and you see like all the caffeine like stimulants that like keep truckers awake. They've got the 5-hour energies, the Mios, which I like. They've got like the gum. They've got I think they've got like chocolate, they have like chocolates. They have like caffeine chocolates. Like they got a bunch of stuff. Like and like that makes sense because it's just another way to get caffeine. Like I get it. Like the Respawn gum, it's kind of a joke, but like I guess if you don't want to drink a beverage and be like pissing all the time,
it has a purpose in the market.
I get it. Like it's convenient, pretty non-invasive. Like just want to chew some gum. Like I don't know. I'm not like against it. And then, of course, you've got like the gamer G-Sups and whatnot.
Could you actually put it'd probably be dangerous if you put caffeine inside these things because there's no caffeine, right? Like you said, right? If you put caffeine in these things, you'd probably die. I don't
know. I mean, I'm not I don't know anything about like.
Well, yeah, of course not. Yeah, I'm not acting
caffeine.
like
if that even like works. I think you have to ingest it. I don't know. I mean, like inhaling anything's kind of sketch because like it's going into your lungs.
Oh yeah.
Like that can't be good.
No.
You know.
I don't tell that to the 420ers, bro. Come on, man. You're fucking ruining their life.
No, like do whatever, but it's like if you're gonna be like I don't know, especially if it's like a gaming product, like snorting G Fuel. It's like what's that gonna do for you besides
There's probably videos out there, man. G Fuel might be the most.
I'm sure there are.
Oh my god.
I remember like pretending to snort like Fun Dip when I was a kid in junior high. Like
that probably hurt like a bitch, right?
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking, but
it's probably worse than actually doing cocaine
at the time. I don't know about that, but
hey, you never know.
But
you never know. All right, here we go. Let's try that. I'll try the mint.
Red Dye 40 could be pretty.
Wait, what?
We'll see it.
All right, okay. Oh, that one's good.
Yeah, that one's not bad. That's the one when I used it, I actually got like better scores on the first day. Like it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, but like
it just made me tear up.
When you do too much of it, it feels like when you like do a backflip underwater and you don't plug your nose.
Yeah.
And then like the water, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, you get all the chlorine in there. Yeah, that's when I first did it. I ripped it way too hard, and I was sneezing. So I was doing like the reaction time test, just like Like I was shocked because I didn't really like focus on the numbers too much. Like I wrote them all down and recorded them, but I was like, wait, this is actually like I did pretty well.
Yeah, your reaction time is quite well, like or quite good.
It goes up and down like that. I think it was a pain in the ass because I had to like record the screen and the video and like have all the lights. So there was a lot of like setup, and I remember being like, okay, like this is kind of weird because now I'm staring at my screen with like lights hitting me.
Yeah.
So I was kind of keyed up for that. But yeah, it was like my reaction time on that take was like really good. And that's a pretty familiar test, the human benchmark one that I've done like quite a bit. So like I've kind of got the timing down a little bit to a degree. But yeah, that was like, I was kind of glad because I didn't want to put like some shitty reaction time in the video. I was like, okay, that's actually a good one. Like, you see, if you like slow it down because I sped it up, when I hit like a 140, you see me be like, whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, hell yeah, that's gonna look sick.
Yeah. What like did you?
I like to practice if I can.
What's the highest rank you've ever gotten in like a game then? Because I was wondering if you've ever even attempted to play games at a high level.
I haven't really. So the problem is like I didn't get into PC gaming until I was like 19. And there's kids
You're
out there
a boomer
like
by that
fucking
point.
Yeah, like by that point, like I do not have the cognitive like developmental. Like if you're a kid, you can learn a language in like that.
Yeah.
But try to do that when you're like late 20s, like it's way harder. So I feel like I would never have an opportunity there. But my highest rank I ever got was in Counter-Strike, and that was Legendary Eagle. I got LE.
Okay.
But that was before the rank change.
Yeah, when everybody that was with 2014 with all the hackers and stuff, right?
They like moved everything. So like that account like kind of like stayed around there up and down. Well, I got like really into it back again because like all my friends were like great at Counter-Strike, and I just like wanted to play with them. So we'd have like LAN parties in like college, and like they'd always be playing Counter-Strike, and I was like fucking dinking around with a P90. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I kind of hated it. And then PUBG was the game that got me into keyboard mouse because I thought that was like the coolest thing. Like battle royale, you drop in like. That was big. Like I know PUBG is like a fucking joke now, but
PUBG
like,
Mobile is still pretty insane.
Yeah, that's wild. I remember even playing that like on the road. Like it was pretty fun. Like it's all bots, but I like that game was awesome. Like before even Fortnite like took over, like that was like so fun to just like because like you didn't have to have skill. Like you didn't have to be like flicking headshots. You could just be like, I'm just some dude like hiding in a bush and I found some cool gun and like I'm just gonna spray. Like it was really fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well now that I've got some skill here, I'm gonna go to Counter-Strike. Did that, and then burned out on that. I got really into the skins. So I just like dumped
CS:GO
crazy money into
and
that.
stuff.
Oh yeah, I got so. And this is like right before they started cracking down on the trade bans with like the 7-day thing. So I was just like into it, and then because that's the only thing that was keeping me in the game at that point was just like trading and doing all this. So I got really into that, and then that all like I got out of it.
That's good because I mean, probably how much money did you lose while doing that, or did you gain money?
I barely netted.
Oh shit!
Like, when I got out, like I got a few lucky. I bought some. I had a couple Glock fades that I got for like 200, and then I just kept them for a while, and then they just. I kept them for a while. I didn't cash out until like a while. So like this is by the time like 2000.
Yeah, they constantly go up.
18. I think it was 18.
Mm-hmm.
I cashed out, and that's when like China got involved with like I think.
You might have lost all your skins.
Well, no. The whole thing was China had a ton of new players. So everyone was buying up skins, and the prices on like higher tier skins just like went up. So I barely made it out with the profit.
Well, like half of like CS:GO's skins aren't even in existence anymore, right? Do you know that?
No. Only like
there's a lot.
The only one
though.
that can't exist is the Howl. The Howl was the one skin.
No. I mean, I'm trying like the ones that do exist. There was so many skins that got traded to these gambling bots that when they started banning the bots, all of the skins are not
tons. So
tons
they can't be of Chinese traders. Yeah, I watched like I don't know if you watch like TDM Jesus or any of like the
Jesus
old skin
and
channels.
Onipixel
Like,
and
I
stuff,
used to watch all that, and so there's tons of like lost skins to like foreign traders and whatnot. So, and that I think does contribute to like the inclining because supply is just down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, demand is also like ramping up because everyone wants more skins. But it's also weird because like with the pandemic, this is after I was like trading, but during the pandemic, like a bunch of people got money, so a lot of people were like buying skins again. So skins almost became like this weird kind of investment haven where like you could get a bunch of skins, and like kids who like aren't going to be like, I was like, oh no, interest rates are going up. Like kids aren't going to care. Like they're going to keep buying skins. So like they were always like kind of a stable investment. So I kept a few. I had one skin left. I had a butterfly knife. That was like really valuable, and that was like the one skin I had left. I wasted so much money on a bunch of other stuff that I lost out on.
Yeah.
It hurt.
But you kept the right skins.
That one skin I had, and I just had it like for sale for like the longest time, and then Bitcoin just plummeted, right? So that like just tanked, and I was like, thank God, because I had like, I took all the Bitcoin money I had, which wasn't very much, but it was like just enough to buy that skin. Yeah. All of a sudden, Bitcoin crashed, but the value of the skin was still way higher. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm selling that. So I got like double the money for it for Bitcoin. So I got like twice as much Bitcoin as I would have had before. It was just a lucky thing. Damn. So that's like, I'm officially like, I have nothing in Counter-Strike now.
Good. Get the fuck out of there,
I'm just out. I'm so sick of it. Yeah. But that was like the highest rank I ever got was Counter-Strike, and you know, it's annoying because like I'll play Valorant, like I'm like barely plat in Valorant, like I'm okay, but like every time I'll play with like some kid who's like 14 or something, and he'll just be like,
he's just going off,
like just I'm like, holy fuck, like it's just so different now because like everyone's playing. I want to make a video on this about like
everyone's just so good now.
Everyone's so good. Yeah. But the bigger thing is like when I was growing up, like it was hard to get your hands on an M-rated game. Like at my age, like you couldn't get like an M game. Like you can't. You have to get like your parents. Like your parents have to be chill with it. But nowadays, like any kid can like pick up.
It's all digital. It doesn't matter.
It's all digital, and it's all like voice chat. So it's kind of weird where like any 12-year-old can start be like voice chatting with some like fucking, like they're saying shit, they're hearing shit. I'm like, holy fuck, like that's such an interesting paradigm to me. Yeah. That like games have now turned into
a cultural
weird,
norm.
Like how do you now rate like the age of a game when like voice chats? It's all weird. But anyways, like you'll just see like all these like you'll see older people playing Valorant, you see like younger people playing it, and it's just like the skill ceiling and like the average of skill has just leapt up, and I feel like I can barely even like I can hold my own now. Like I'm pretty good at those games. Like with the aim trainers, I can do really well. But that's because like I worked on it for a while. It took me like a year to like really like. When I was playing Counter-Strike, I was trying to like do like pro stuff where I'm like, I'm going to get 500 kills in like, you know, custom servers and stuff. Like every day I'm going to like grind at like super low DPIs and all this. Actually just recently switched to 1600 and like changed all the Windows settings. Because everyone was like, dude, why are you using 400 DPI? It's like really bad. I'm like,
oh yeah, pixel skipping, bro.
Yeah, pixel skipping, or well, it's reaction time. Apparently, the sensors. It definitely feels different though. Like 1600 at the same like ratio of like 400 to 1000 or 1600 at like 200 or whatever it is, 250. It definitely feels like better, like smoother. It's weird. I don't play better yet, but it's different.
I agree with you. I agree with you because I mean, like generally, I tried to be at 400 as well because I thought that going across my browser at 2 miles an hour was a good way to practice my aim. So I just stayed at 400 DPI because I figured, okay, I'm just slow around the fucking computer, so I have to use my entire arm just to browse the fucking internet.
I'm the same way. So when I moved up to 1600, I also like dumped the window mouse setting. So like I'm always like, well, that's also the other thing. Like I had this weird ergonomic keyboard setup because I'm always worried about wrist impingement. My brother had really bad wrist pain, and I did too until I switched. But I find I never have wrist problems with my mouse, like ever.
Yeah, it's always the keyboard.
After using slow mouse movements, because like, I feel like I don't do the like lock off. Like I'm much more arm based, and I'm always resetting the mouse. I feel like it's much healthier too. Yeah. So I like the first thing you'll read on the internet is if you have like mouse pain is like try lower sensitivities.
Yeah.
So like if you can
but then
get
keyboard,
used to that,
you just have to get an entirely
This has nothing to
keyboard?
do with anything. I'm just rambling, but
no, yeah, you're good.
Keyboard's worse because like you're constantly pinching your wrist, and like granted I sit really high at my table, but even then like if you're twisting your arm, like it's not good, especially with like your pinky for like holding shift and whatnot. It's very bad.
Crouch.
Crouch, like all that stuff, it's horrible for your wrist, and I always notice that. So I had this goofy setup that's like built on like all these weird things. So my arm just floats at my desk. So I've got this thing that comes down. My keyboard's at a negative angle.
What the fuck?
And then also twisted. So like I can just rest.
Does it help?
Oh, it's like the best thing ever.
Oh damn.
it took me a while, like, kind of figure out, because it's the keys are like vertical in columns as opposed to horizontal, where there's like that like weird shift between like rows.
Yeah.
So like you have to hit a different button for C, but it also has thumb clusters, so I can like your thumb is your strongest. Yeah, you can use your thumb for different stuff.
Yeah.
Which is huge. Like, you don't realize how many things like the keyboard is not the most efficient way. It's good.
Yeah.
For like control, but like having like all that extra, like it's crazy.
I didn't know
Anybody still uses normal keyboards. People will spend like tons of money on like the Ducky,
stuff,
whatever. And like, dude, just drop like $350. I know it's a lot of money. Like, it's a lot of money.
There's probably cheap ones out there too, to be honest.
Well, the one I have is like this. Like you can tilt like left and also like it's the most. I think it's the best one because I went crazy on this stuff trying to find the best thing.
Yeah.
With like the box white switches, and it comes with all the stuff, and it's also custom. I have it all like mapped out for editing, so I can like all my keyboard shortcuts are like custom for this thing, and I have like different layers I switch to for like different edit. It's great for gaming though, and I'm shocked that more people just put up with keyboards because like you are going to have nerve damage by the time you're 25 if you're like a pro gamer and you're not like taking care of your wrists, because of course you always see the people with like the keyboards inverted inwards. Because like they're trying to save desk space, but they're also like trying to heal their wrists from not like spazzing out.
Yeah,
it's like, I think that's gonna be the next big thing. If a company can start like Razer, whatever company starts like making more ergonomic keyboards for gaming, I think that's gonna be huge in the market.
Yeah, I guess right now it's just kind of like one of those things where it probably just has a weird overarching like narrative about them, which people see people that use those as bitches. You know what I mean? Like that's like.
I don't even think that's the case. I just think there's not much out there for the market for gamers. Like there's nothing. There's like the biggest thing for keyboards is actually like horizontal tilt. So if you just take your keyboard and just like lift the right side up, like your wrist will just relax.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing on like everything on the market's like back tilts when they should be like front tilts. Like having a negative camber but you don't see that anywhere. Like it's a lot of extra accessory that you need to put up, and for a lot of like younger gamers, like no one cares because like your wrist doesn't hurt yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So if you're like 14, you're just like I don't give a fuck, and you have like allowance, you don't have money. So I was considering making a product to sell on Amazon that would. I don't think I'm gonna do it anymore, but I just like if they could make like a light frame that goes under any a universal fit frame for a keyboard that could tent. So like lift the right side of your keyboard up like a few degrees, but also like really solid. That would be like huge, I think.
It'd make it easier.
Also like go reverse. Like if you could have a keyboard that reverse tilts and then maybe have like a little like comfy wrist thing, that would save your wrists. Because after like using these muscles at that angle, it's horrible for your forearms. Like if you do this, like you are just like asking for problems. And I think if you made it really cheap and just marketed it, because people I love buying stupid shit for $20. Like if you can just make something cheap and just like, hey, like this is gonna make your game, it's gonna make you not hurt when you play games, and it's cheap and it'll work. And if you don't like it, you can get a free return. I feel like that would kill in the market.
Yeah,
I probably won't do it just because I'm lazy, but
yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
I can see that. That's what I think would be huge. I'm rambling at this point, so.
Oh, you're good,
like,
Liam.
Whatever you want. If you have like any question, I'm gonna take the reins here.
Okay,
I'm curious. So you said you did professional Overwatch. What is that like? What does that involve?
It's pretty much the idea of just playing a video game nonstop after waking up, and then you have like lunch, and then you go back to it, and then that's it on repeat forever. And then it's also super, sweaty and scrims and stuff, and you have practices against other pro teams, and then at the end of the day, you're expected to practice more. And then if you don't do that, you just fall behind the curve, basically. So that's kind of how it is.
So it's not what I'm hearing from you. It's not like you just play all day at home.
Yeah,
like you just do it, and then, you like LAN online to other teams.
So yeah. I did it for basically like 2 years or something like that, where I just played at home, and then eventually got kicked out of my house because I was just playing video games all day when I should have been going to college. Yeah. So then I moved to Utah and lived in Utah for like 6 months.
So you actually got kicked out for just playing video games all day.
Well, because I thought I could play them. I knew I could play them professionally. It's kind of like I kind of knew I could do it, but my parents never saw that, and I didn't really have money coming in at the time, except some tournament winnings and stuff. So I was like telling them, like, I could do it, guys. I can go professional in video games, and they just thought it was a joke. And they were like, you have to go to college. So I went to college for a year, forged my grades, just was a little dumb with things, and then eventually by the end of a year, I got booted And I kind of made connections and stuff through just playing games. And I just knew a guy in Utah that let me stay in his bedroom for 6 months. But
that's crazy, man. What was that like? Just to like get up and move.
It was, I mean, it was a good experience.
Games, like
it was a good experience, to be honest with you. Like, I think that, yeah, I mean, like, it is just to play video games all day, and realistically, that was my goal, right? Like, I think.
Did you still enjoy it? Was that something you enjoyed doing at that time?
Yeah, at the time,
that, like, after like grinding it so hard, did you ever see it as like an occupation?
Yeah, I think at the time it was super fun, but like, yeah, over time it turned into more of a job, and I think that's why I don't fucking do it anymore, because it's just so goddamn. It's like people are so fucking sweaty these days, where it's just the amount of
like,
the amount of effort you have to do to compete with some of these like prodigies, and like especially in Overwatch Korean talent, it's unbelievable how much like these guys fucking practice more than you.
That has to be like the most stressful job, especially at that age, is trying to be so good at a video game where you are like at the top of the top against people who just like I don't even know how you can practice for 30,000 hours a day, and like how do you even start to get up against like human limits of like what you can do. It's got to be so hard to perform. I see stuff on Twitter all the time where you see pro players like, you know, sweating over like games where like their paychecks on the line. It's like, man, that's got to be hard.
Well, I would say
that's got to be the hardest thing.
It's hard because the barrier to entry is not that crazy. And like YouTube, there is
like anybody can do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with YouTube, but I guess with content creation, it's a little bit more of like not everybody can make good content, right?
Whereas it feels like not everyone's fighting. Like not everyone's fighting for like a limited seat. Whereas pro gaming, I feel like if you're fighting like at the top, like there is only so many seats open. You know, like how many pro, I don't know, Overwatch, Valorant, CS:GO, like seats are there for
There's
that?
There's not many at all.
Like you
got like 200.
Yeah, like that's just wild to me.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's why
I'm
it's
so
like,
curious. So you said so you were trying to do that professionally, and then you said you did casting. So did you like just?
Oh yeah. I can send you it afterwards. It's just basically I just commented over Overwatch for like the tier 2 scene in Overwatch. It's pretty fun actually. It's good. It's a good time. It's a good way to just.
I can see you being good at it. Yeah, you're good at communicating. I think you do a good job at it.
It's pretty fun, but like I think ideally, like realistically, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know if you thought the same thing when you were a kid, but like I wanted to just do nothing but either browse the fucking internet or play games all day, and that was kind of like my two brain cells working together in tandem to figure out what I want to do with my life. Did you have like a similar idea when you were a kid? Like, what did you want to do when you grew up?
I think that sounds like a sentiment I think a lot of people have growing up, where it's like you either want to like play games professionally or like make games professionally. For me, I think it was more, I always like the idea of sharing opinions professionally, just like sharing relatable insights on like, again, growing up, I would always watch like I would just constantly be watching YouTube and like mainly drumming stuff, but I'm always interested in like takes on video games. Like my favorite creators were people who would dissect them and be like, here's why this works and here's why this doesn't. And then whenever I would play a game or like watch a show or anything, I'd be like, I would just go into the shower and I would just be like thinking about like, man, why did I enjoy that so much? I think it was because of this, that, and this.
Yeah, it's just like super analytical.
Yeah, and then the reason I enjoyed watching that content was because when I would play a game, I would enjoy the emotion of playing the game. So I'd be like, oh man, I remember like really enjoying playing Ocarina of Time. I want that same memory again. So by watching someone just talk about it, do a retrospective on a game, that was kind of a way for me to like, oh yeah, like remember all those, like hear all the music and like get that same experience of the game without like playing the game.
Yeah.
So like that's something I really resonated because like I would have such vivid experiences in a game that'd be like, man, like I remember having such a great summer playing this. I'll want to watch a guy talk about that game so I can just kind of like relive it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a joy in reviewing stuff because you kind of get
it's like a time
bring
capsule.
Out the positives. Yeah, it's a bit of a time capsule, and it's a way. I think good art makes you feel an emotion that makes you want to share that emotion with other people through art. It's like it's like if you experience something profound, you want to share that same thing with someone else, like through your own, like that's sort of like inspiration. So it's like,
oh, that makes sense.
That's what I wanted to do. So like the videos I would watch on YouTube did that. Like oh yeah, that guy made a really good video and he made me feel like super sentimental about that. I want to do that with these games that I played. So that's kind of like, so yes and no. It's like I sort of wanted to do pro gaming related.
I would say what you
be
were
a pro at games.
What you're trying to do is a little bit more proactive, I think. Like in my opinion, like for me, I was already retired by the age I was 15. Like I just wanted to be fucking done doing shit forever.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the idea was that like.
How old are you?
I'm 24 now, so I was where
Okay, nice.
where you were when you decided to quit drumming, basically, right? So,
Yeah.
and
No.
I don't know, like that's why I've progressed to, I guess, YouTube more so. It's because I think that like that environment itself is just far too time commit. Like editing stuff takes a lot of time, but I would think comparatively to just playing games, you just kind of need to continually do that. And that just takes up like 12 hours out of your day.
Yeah, I think like growing on Twitch by just like I don't know how you grow on Twitch anymore.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
without being really strategic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just like it's hard to put into words, but I think a lot of people want to take the things they do and make a profession out of it. And it's a lot harder than people think. Not just in doing it, but actually living with it. Because like I remember doing drumming, like my whole life was drumming, because that was like myself. Like I put my self-worth into drumming. So for me, that was like a very like who I am as a person is tied to like how good I am at drums. And then like as I got like a little bit more mature, like growing up, like to my 20s, and I was like, wait a minute, hold up, like I have this thing I've always wanted. You know, like there's two problems in life. It's like getting what you want and not getting what you want. And like in this circumstance, I got what I wanted, and it was like, well, wait a minute. Well, maybe I don't really want this.
Yeah.
And then I realized like, okay, like maybe doing something professionally isn't always enjoying it, but it's just like the process of doing something is the reward. And it's like being able to do YouTube is a reward because I get to like make a funny joke, do a thing, do a script. And while I may not want to like edit it at the point in time, it's like, I know I'm going to have a fun time making this and get that spark of joy when I get that piece of content that's like, oh, I can't wait to share this with people. But then also seeing that perform well is like such a huge, so to me, it's like a no-brainer. But I think for other people, I think it's a lot more serious, like it's a more difficult decision to make. And that's when you said pro gaming in Overwatch, I'm like, that's interesting because like, that's got to be just like the hardest thing to do. And I bet you probably walked away from that. Oh,
Did
there
your
goes
camera
my
just
camera.
overheat?
No, it ran out of batteries.
Yeah, same thing happens to me. No, we can wrap things up soon, Liam, if you want, man.
I tell you what, I'm gonna throw a new battery in it right now.
Okay.
Got one right here. But I tell you what, I do kind of want to grab some food here.
Yeah, no worries.
I know I'm just sort of rambling on shit.
No, this is good. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I haven't covered. I haven't seen your Twitch chat, so I don't know what people are saying.
No, it was just. Oh my god.
If I have any questions, you do.
No, it's just like last one. Like, how long do you take? If anybody in chat has questions, feel free to ask them, and I can ask them back to Leon. But or Liam, when you made your scripts, right? I think I only know like one YouTuber that makes scripts as extensive as yours. Like, I'm not talking about the overarching script. I'm talking about the segments. Like the segments, like you're the doctor in the office telling the patient he's dying.
Oh, like the skits?
Yeah, the skits. Sorry, not I say scripts. What the fuck? Yeah, scripts or skips. And I only know like one other YouTuber that does something along those lines where they have these bits. And I think like do you know Will Tennyson by any chance, the fitness YouTuber, or no?
Will Tennyson. That sounds really familiar.
Check him out. He does intros that are similar to your bits in your videos. And yeah, I don't know. I was wondering how you come up with like what's the creative process with coming up with those little skits.
Yeah, good question. I think it always starts off with like what's a funny scenario, like a what if, like what's like a funny scenario surrounding this. Usually I'll just be like when I'm hanging out with friends and we're in like a voice call, we'll say something stupid and it'll be like, oh, we'll like riff on that. It's like a joke. Like this is how we make laughs. So we'll be like, oh, and then we do this and like. That's kind of like making a skit. It's like just laughing with your friends, being like, wouldn't it be funny if this was the punchline?
Yeah.
Or like if you just took, because a lot of the skits are just sort of like they start out with a premise, and then all of a sudden by kind of just quickly working on the premise, more jokes come in as a result. So it's like you just take like an idea or like a prompt, which is like to take for example like the doctor scene. It was just like. Premise was like, oh yeah, dude, like dying from a gaming inhaler. Like that's funny. Like that's pathetic. So what would that look like? And it's like, oh yeah, like fucking going to a hospital and then like what do they have at a hospital? It's like you have the beeping shit, you've got like the classic stereotype like doctor show where everything's like super serious. Like well, I can be kind of funny, and I think I've got like a stethoscope toy like that I had as a kid, and a smock I picked up at Goodwill. I can just throw a shitty skit together, and then before you know it, like as you're writing it, you'll just get like kind of more ideas. So my process is like take the points I'm making. When I make a video, I always start off like, what's the takeaway? What's the arguments? and then what are like the evidence for it, what are the counter arguments for it, and then just like write something fun. And then as I'm like kind of writing funny, quirky jokes, they're more just like, oh, this relatable thing could be funny if like you just tied this imagery with it or made a joke on it because it reminded me of this thing. And then before you know it, like by just working on it, you get more ideas that come to you in the process. So it's just sort of throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks, and then every once in a while you'll laugh at an idea you have. You'd be like, oh, wouldn't that be? It's like, okay, write that down. That might be funny. And sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes like I've cut scripts before where I'm like, this makes no fucking sense. Like no one's gonna laugh at this except for me. And I'll do that with my buddies. I'll send them like a render of like something I only like didn't really like fully geek out on and like, you know, get the shadows all right. It was just like, oh yeah, wouldn't this be funny? They'd be like, this makes no sense. Yep, yeah, okay.
You run to buy with them?
I thought that might be the case, but I didn't know if I was just overthinking it. So a lot of them is just like, if I'm writing a script and like I chuckle at something, I'd be like, okay, like maybe that can be something. And then I'll just kind of follow it, and before you know it, it's like you got a script on your hands. Like if I had to write like cause like, you know, like Angry Joe show, like he would do stuff like that, where he would always have like a green screen.
Yeah, that's
I
a
always
good point,
thought his were like kind of long, like they'd be a little like the SNL thing where like you have a joke and like you stay on it a little bit too long. Like I know he's doing his best, and I'm sure he's a great guy. But like that type of content for me was like, okay, what if I took that though, but like made it really short and just did like quick. Big inspiration was, and this I guess is kind of controversial.
Oh, go for it.
Nostalgia Critic.
I never watched him actually. What did you?
I loved his. So he was like, he would just review like old movies and stuff, but he would constantly be like, he's probably the most consistent creative person on YouTube because he's been doing it forever. And like every script he writes is well put together. It's funny, and like they always like pull back to jokes they make earlier on in the video. Like it's really well done. And like I'll just be watching, and be like, how did he think of that? Like that's the creative brain that goes on and just making all these points, making arguments, but also like always being funny and like fast paced. That to me was always fun. So just like JonTron type stuff where it's like you just have an idea and like maybe you laugh at it with a friend or two and you end up like just getting an idea, then you film it and make it work. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. It's just a
lot of callbacks.
Just callback or just like jokes or scenes, or wouldn't it be funny if is usually what I go off. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if, and then like, okay, that can be a scene, or like I'll just be like on YouTube, or like I'll browse like a background, or like what if I like put myself in a Linus Tech Tips video, or like what if I like just some like just stupid stuff like that. You just let your brain run, and
oh, it's good. No, I
that's
like
how I do it. Yeah, a bit of a schizophrenic process, but whatever works. Just
that's what they say.
Tangential.
Yeah, they say the same on like voice actors and stuff, right? It's just they're paid to be schizophrenic.
Yeah,
you're also paid to be
else,
schizophrenic, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean I don't really like act, because like if you see I think I'm like a decent actor in skits, but like I get to the point where like I'll record a line like 50 times and I'll just be in post like, no, that was too dumb. No, I didn't like that. Oh, I like the way I put the inflection on there. Maybe I can re-record that real quick, and like like you don't see like 99% of the video I don't use where I'm just like tripping. I just look like so fucking stupid in front of the camera.
It usually results.
That's the hardest part for me, is recording it. Recording is the hardest part for me. I can't tell you how many times I just like I'll say something and watch it back and be like, oh god, like I sound like an idiot. Like I sound like an asshole. Like I gotta smile when I say this. That's the hardest part for me.
Yeah.
I think that's why I got so autistic about editing, because I could just control it all before I publish it.
Yeah, and that makes it so you're just like going back and forth. But
yeah, it's like a constant revision process. But that's how I come up with the skits.
Oh, that's cool. Dude, Liam, thanks for coming for the interview, bro.
Hey, my pleasure, man. I appreciate you like reacting to that video. I thought that was really funny.
No,
I thought you were engaging, and
that was that was a good video. I think I think somebody in my chat just said to watch it, and then I was like, oh, okay, sure. People are coming out already, like reaching out via Twitch chat to try to promote your videos.
Yeah, that's wild to me. That's so wild to me that like people actually like.
Well, that's how much they like them, dude.
That's the fun thing about YouTube. It's like everyone. That's why I like YouTubers so much. Like YouTubers are generally cool people. Like I love connecting with other YouTubers, because like everyone's just got such a different backstory, and
well, yeah, if they weren't interesting people, they probably wouldn't do well.
Yeah, if they weren't interesting people, they probably wouldn't be here. But
yeah.
At the same time, like everyone's kind of normal in the sense that like we're just jerk offs like uploading videos, and the number went from like 1 subscriber to 1 million subscriber. Like it's like like when you're in a band, like I hated the music industry. I fucking hated it because everyone in there is like an idiot and obnoxious as hell because they're all just full of themselves.
I heard that.
Like, it's so I hated it. I didn't think it'd be that bad. It's worse than I thought. Just the coworkers there were terrible. But on YouTube, and you see it for yourself, you don't see what 100,000 subscribers looks like in front of you. So when you're playing a show and you only have like 500 people, that looks like a big show. You got a ton of people, see an audience, people like like that. That's like, oh yeah, hell yeah, that's an audience. With YouTube, you don't have that. So like I think everyone's a little more humble in the sense that it's like we're just dudes making videos, and sometimes they get views, sometimes they don't, and
that's what it looks like.
You just get way more interesting people and just cooler individuals as a result. So yeah, I love YouTube. I love the people who make videos. And I think just like that's why I like connecting with you. I connect with a ton of other people. I could talk all day about this stuff. And
well, no, we'll have
afterwards. If you ever have like questions about like what you should be doing for YouTube and directions for your content to get better, I've got like a whole list I could share with you on just like. Oh yeah, no, because I went through your channel. I'm like, okay, like I see what he's doing here. Like his thumbnails need this. Like he's got too much of that. Like this ain't gonna work. He's wasting time on this. That was a good idea. Like one funny experiment you can do is just like go to any channel and like sort by their most popular videos, like the last year or two.
Yeah.
And you can just like almost always understand why they're popular. Like, you can almost point to any like popular video and be like, I see why that popped off.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, a lot of
just by looking at it, like.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I used to do is reporting and shit. But like you said, I mean, we talked about it off broadcast. It's a little bit unfocused, but save that for off the stream, dude. I already get enough roast from my fucking chat, Liam, dude. I get fucking roasted on the daily, dog. But
about what?
Dude, just about shit, man. I don't know. Just fucking regular old shit.
That's the internet for you, dude. I get roasted over dumb shit, too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You just gotta take. The only difference is I get fucking hung up on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all the Twitch chat watching. Be nice to him. He's doing good stuff. I do think you have like good potential. I think like your content. What I think you need to focus on is like what's the value proposition for your viewers, and like how do you get someone to watch for you, for like your take, for your
No,
like,
I get that. Yeah,
because I remember like when you told me you were a pro Overwatch guy, I'm like I had no idea. I think like that's something that like could give you kind of an edge of like, okay, this is like a
informed gamer.
Yeah, like you're like a legitimate source.
Yeah.
But I feel like that could be like maybe emphasized with like a few other things. But
okay. Yeah. No, we'll talk about it. I was
also impressed because I saw you had like a shit ton of videos. I'm like, man, this guy's working.
I mean,
this
like
guy's working.
That's what I was telling you though. I'm like, I was doing React content for like 3 months straight, and then I just like recently, I'm like, wow, I fucking hate this. So
yeah, I mean, like that's how you do it though. It's like you just upload and you just see what sticks and you see what doesn't, and you just learn what you want to do. And like I think it's great that you're doing that. Most people don't. Most people just are like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be great? It's like, dude, just fucking make the video. Like it'll suck or it may not suck. Like you don't know until you do it, and you'll just learn through a feedback process. And that like it goes for anything. You'll get like questions like, oh dude, how do you edit? Or like, dude, how do you play a game? Or for you, like all these other things. It's like, dude, just Google
try,
it. Just try it. Like I don't know, like figure it out. Like I wasn't good at it. I had to work for all this shit. Like
there's
you
no
can
one
achieve any of this if you just Google it. Like just ask a question, you can figure anything out.
Pretty easy.
Yeah. So I like.
Well, let me.
That sounded like I had to like it was going somewhere with the message. I wasn't.
You already went somewhere, bro. It was already done a while ago. You figured it out. Well, Liam, thank you for.
I guess, but
dude, no, thanks
my
for coming,
pleasure.
man.
Thank you so much. This is the first interview I've done on like YouTube. So
what? Yeah, I appreciate it.
I hope I wasn't too like.
No, you're good. You'll probably see it like
annoying
tomorrow
or anything, but.
No, you're great, man.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited.
The whole point of these interviews, by the way, don't worry about talking and shit. The whole point of the interviews is to hear you. So at the end of the day, who gives a fuck on if you rambled about? Honestly, you rambled about a lot of stuff, but specifically the most interesting parts were. Well, everything actually. I'm gonna have to watch it back just to like dissect. Like, okay, what did he say here, and then what? And
I'm curious to see what you think.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Let me know if you have any like YouTube advice or if you want like help with a thumbnail or anything.
Oh yeah, of course.
You, like,
well, let me end the stream and we could talk a little bit more. But guys, thanks for coming and watching. And this is the end of the interview segment with Liam.
Thanks for everyone watching. That's
AKA cool, Manley Reviews. Was that your last name, by the way? I meant to ask about the whole.
Yeah, I feel kind of that's part. I feel kind of douchey because some people are like, oh, like, he thinks his reviews are so manly. It's like, no, it's my last name. Like, guys, that's like the only reason I named it Manley Reviews is because when my channel was tiny. I would comment on like other like videos on YouTube to like try to get top comment.
Yeah.
And then like if my name is just my name, no one would click on my channel. But every once in a while, you get like a hit comment, and then people will click your thing.
Because
like,
you're
that's because a YouTuber. Exactly. Like that's the only reason it's Manly Reviews. Like
Genius. Fucking
and
genius.
now I'm sort of stuck with it. But
Well, thanks, Liam. I appreciate it, man. And,
yeah, my pleasure, man.
There you go. It's his last name. Bye-bye, Chant.